So I've been working on this. I did a little bit of work, not much. The Spraytek here. This is a Cushman Spraytek. They have a bunch of different models. Most of them are Turf Truckster, but this is not a Turf Truckster. It's not a Turf Truckster with a sprayer on the back either. There's the names right on there, and there's some other ones too. So I cleaned it up. I pressure washed it this morning. The motor was disgusting. You couldn't even see anything on this motor. It was all covered in dirt. It looks a lot better now. This zinc plated piece was just all black, and it had been greased so many times, big blobs of grease. Look at my hands, green. I thought it wasn't going to start after I did that, but it runs like a charm, this thing. It's even quieter when the seat cover is on there. I read in the manual that it has points in there in this distributor, under the distributor tab. I haven't looked, but I think it has points. So the plan for this machine is to remove the sprayer and build a little dump box. I don't know how far I'll get there before winter comes, but so because they add the golf courses, they're not allowed to use a lot of pesticides anymore, so they still spray, but I think one of the things they spray most is this green dye. See, the rims are green, everything was green. This gas tank was green. I got a lot of it off. It's still a bit green. This whole side of the machine, you couldn't even see this red stripe. It was covered with a disgusting green. So I was using the wax. This is professional quality wax. It's expensive. And then I went to the ultra cutting cream. This is a buffing compound. Yeah. And I got it all off. That red stripe's appearing again. So I like that. And this thing was green. I thought, I really thought that wasn't going to come off, but most of it came off. And I think if I go over it with, I don't really want to use Scotch-Brite, but I think if I use a wash mitt with lots of soap, hot water and soap, and it'd probably get the rest of that off. I went over it like 2-3 times. I did the A-arms. They're all greasable. Everything's greasable in there. So this machine was greased a lot. So there was blobs of grease all over the place. Disgusting again. So I did that. I pulled these covers off. I went in there. There's power steering. There's your 2 hoses. It's almost the size of a power steering unit on a pickup truck or something. It's not a rack and pinion steering. And your brakes are here. The horn, I can't seem to get the horn to work. It's not important. There's your shift cables. Lots of wires on this. Because of the sprayer, it's got this control right here, which works awesome. Look at this. You turn this on. The green light comes on. The foamer works. You can hear it running. And then the boom comes down. The entire sprayer works really well. And you'll see foam coming out over there in a second. You can either go right, left, or you can push this button and go both of them. Both lights are on. And then there's your pressure gauge. There's a little tiny hose that goes all the way to the back of the sprayer. It reads the pressure right on this bar at the back. That's the hose right there. Let's see. Yeah, a little clear hose in there. Kind of cool. This is your foamer unit. Call it a foamer. I don't know what it's called. It's in here something that makes foam. And it sends it through these hoses. So as you're driving along and spraying, it leaves little blobs of foam like that. It's around 20 feet wide. There's the green. That comes off of the pressure washer. It's black underneath it. Maybe I'll wax this side too. Takes all this stuff off. Anyway, I don't really want to do anything with the sprayer. The sprayer's coming off, but I'm hoping somebody will buy it. That's what I'm kind of hoping. And then I'll have a frame. It'll be like buying a cab and chassis truck. So then you can just put whatever you want on the back. I'll have to fabricate a dump box because I don't really have I don't have anything to go on there, but I got some material that I could get going and make something like that. But, there's Audrey. Hello. Yes, got 2 people watching. That's great. So the engine came out pretty good. I was told by the mechanic this thing's leaking oil all over the place. So now that it's cleaned off, we'll be able to see where it's coming from. Maybe it needs a valve cover gasket, or yeah. At least I can see the rear end is completely covered, and I think I need to do it. Probably gonna have to pressure wash the back end like 2 or 3 more times. Look at it. Didn't even come clean. It's not bad, but the frame was all green. I took a lot of it off. Mud everywhere. Dirt everywhere. I don't think this has ever been pressure washed. Okay. So I want to put, I'm going to put about, I do not know if this is liters or gallons. I'd imagine it's liters. 300 liters. I can't find in the book. It's called the DS-300, but it doesn't say anywhere liters or gallons. So, don't know. That looks like gallons. It could be gallons. That's a big tank. And there's a DS-175, so it's half the size. It's a much, you can tell this tank is really small compared to this one. But I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of pesticides you can't use anymore because the environment. So, you know, it's a thing of the past, a sprayer now. I mean, don't know, but it does have it's a Suzuki 970cc 4-cylinder. You can see there's 4 spark plug wires. Way down underneath there, you can see 4 spark plugs. And for the size of this motor, like, look at my hand. There's a valve cover. They must be, the pistons must be this half the size of a Coke can. I don't know how you'd fit 4 cylinders in there. They have to be really, really small. Most motors that size I see are 3 cylinders, but there is a Suzuki 3-cylinder, but this one's a 4. It's got a lot of power. Got your high-low range. I blasted the freaking sticker off here. I'm really disappointed in that. It's gone. I'm gonna try and pick up the pieces and glue it back on if I can find them. Is that? No, that's paint. I think that sticker is gone. It didn't come off in one piece. It came off in little bits. So, yeah, it was all there. It's a little disappointing. There's a piece of it. Anyway, pull up, it's in high range. You push down, it's in low range. And the cable has been touching the exhaust pipe down there. It's completely rotted out. The plastic's been burnt off and all the metal's all rusted out. That's a little disappointing. Like, that should have been tied up above with some space above the exhaust pipe. And then in here is a huge pump. There it is. Belt driven off the front here. There's a jack shaft right here. And there's an electric. You can hear the electric clutch when I turn it on and off. I think. Maybe you can't hear it. Anyway, it works. You're not supposed to run it dry. It says right here, do not run pump dry. Caution. And then this is a choke. You need to choke it to get it running. But so the controls for the sprayer over here are, that's how you turn on each zone. There's 3 zones. That's how you raise and lower these 2 outer booms. The middle one is fixed. This button's kind of no use for that. I haven't got a clue what this button's for. Plus on the upside here, down is minus, the little clock with a P at the bottom. I have no idea. And this is to spray, turn on your sprayer. Whatever one you've selected, you can run 1, 2, or all 3. Any 1 or 2 or all 3 of them at the same time. Just turn that on, and then you've got this. This button must be a timer. Oh, you know what? I think I know what this is. That must be just for spot spraying. A little spot. I don't know. And your gauge. The gauge, little hose I showed you, that's the gauge right there. You get a reading of your pressure. So, look, a ton of wires going up to the back. It's quite the machine. A new machine like this, they don't make this model anymore, but the new one that's replaced this is like $70,000, which is insane. Who can afford that? I guess golfers can. Golf courses, they have to have the best. Oh, there's a good look at the front of it. So Textron have a whole bunch of golf course equipment. That's what they specialize in. So Bobcat, Bunton, Ryan, Cushman, Ransoms, and Jacobson are all part of Textron. Bell Helicopters, owned by Textron. And I think Cessna Airplanes are owned by Textron. So, oh, I got a phone call. I'll have to call him back. So, you guys hear that ringing? The back wheel, this is the reason why they scrapped the machine, because these back seals blew out and destroyed the lug nuts, got loose and destroyed the studs. It was getting old, this thing. So I got to order some parts for the back here. Everything's discontinued on this machine, so you can buy, if you can find used parts, you can keep this thing going. Or yeah, you'd have to go without brakes, because even the shoes and all the brake parts are obsolete. So discontinued, not obsolete. So I'll do the brakes this one last time. I think the next time, if they ever need to be done again, I'll be up the creek without a paddle, probably. But I don't think I'll put that much mileage on it. It's got low hours. I've seen these machines with 6,500 hours on them. This one's got 1,500. So it's a little 4-speed. I pressure washed the knob here, and it kind of destroyed that. I shouldn't have got so close. Anyway, it's clean now. It's full of grime. And yeah. There is Textron. Turf Care Specialist. Specialty products. Yeah. I checked the air filter a couple of days ago. It was clean. The oil's pretty good. I will do an oil change on it, because I don't know when it was last done. They haven't used this machine regularly for about 1.5 years now. Almost 2 years, because they bought a new sprayer the spring of 2024. So this one was not being used. They're basically robbing parts off it. Their top dresser has the same machine underneath it. So actually, some of those parts on the back were stolen. Kind of not stolen, but they put them on the top dresser. So that's why it's missing a bunch of parts. I had to get a battery for it. Yeah, he said it started and ran. Well, I put a battery in, it fired right up. I had to put a fuse in. I didn't have any fuses with me. Fuse block was empty. I haven't talked to the mechanic since then. I haven't seen him. There's a little bar right here to open the hood. There's the little fuse box. So I filled it up with fuses. Everything works but the horn. It's got a high beam crazy. This thing's built just like a vehicle for the road, even though it's an off-road machine. You've got everything in the brake. That's the brake light. The horn doesn't work. I couldn't get it to work. So you even got high beams. Look at that. There it is. And then there's dash lights too. So power steering. I don't know, I'm impressed. I think this will be awesome for just moving firewood and picking up branches. What I might do is put a little box. I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but I'll build a dump box, and then I want to put plywood sides on it, and then I can hook the chipper right to. This thing is strong enough to tow the chipper, and we can chip right into the box on the machine. So I might do that. I don't know. I have a trailer right now. I'm using the trailer, but it seems to work pretty good. I might just stay like that, but one of the options I might do, the little Toro is not strong enough to tow that chipper. I had a lot of trouble with the Toro last year, so I stopped. I couldn't use it for a month. I'll show you why. It's a brand new secondary clutch. I had to cut the old one off with a grinder, and it came off in little tiny pieces. It was the steel shaft on the middle, way down in the bottom there, was seized right on. I think someone used some Loctite or some JB Weld or something, and they glued it on there. So I couldn't get it off. You can't get in there with a torch to heat it up either. So I cut everything. I cut the spring. I cut all that aluminum you see. I just kept cutting. And cutting, and the dealer wanted, I didn't even ask the dealer how much they want for that secondary clutch, probably $600, but I'm guessing, I didn't even call. I bought that, I think for $200 on Amazon. I ordered the belt from the dealer. At first I thought it was just the belt was worn out, so I ordered a brand new belt. They wanted $200 for that belt, and then I found that on Amazon for like $78, so I said, I'm not buying anything from the dealer anymore if I don't have to. But this machine, it's getting tired. The motor's, it's burning oil. It floods. What happens is it floods, and then the oil, gas gets in the oil. So it's pretty good. It's over 20 years old now. I've had it 13 years. I put new tires on it a few years ago. I might get this same type of tire for that Cushman. That's great for a couple more months a year. You can use it when it's wet, spring and fall. Winter time is a little iffy. This thing here wouldn't do well in the winter. Those tires are they're like Corvette tires. They're 13 inches wide, and they're bald. They're made to go on a level turf. I don't even think you can climb a hill on wet grass with this. You just spin all the way up. So I'll get maybe if I can get those knobby type tires for this. That's down the road. It's not 4-wheel drive. It's 2-wheel drive only. But I think some of the newer machines like this are 4-wheel drive. Because people, if you got a hilly golf course, you better have a 4-wheel drive. This thing is full of water. It's going to weigh a lot. So, yeah, I pulled the backhoe battery out, and then I found this little battery. I knew I had a little one, but it was behind some stuff in the shop. I charged it up for yesterday, and I got the little bar that goes here. We gotta put that clamp in there, clamp it down, and then that's gonna stay in there. If I ever have to boost it, I'll boost it. But one thing about that Toro is it operates like a golf cart. The engine only runs when you put your foot on the gas pedal. So if you go 3 times, you'd move it 100 feet, it runs the battery down, and then it's on. I've got a battery charger on it right now because eventually it won't start anymore. So this one here, you start it and it idles, so it has a chance to charge the battery up. Got the voltage gauge right there. Yeah, I fixed up the exhaust on it last night. I welded some washers on those. There's a couple of shields. I'll show you. I'll get a piece of cardboard and I'll lay down there and we'll have a look at it. I did that at like 7:30 last night. There's the foam. So it was, not only was it loud, these shields were rattling around enough to drive you crazy. So I couldn't handle that. I had to do something about that. So I took a big wad. I tried undoing these bolts. There's the heat shield on the exhaust manifold. I tried undoing these 2 bolts. There's 3 bolts. And then they wouldn't move. I was going to break them. So I gave up on that and I just took a big fender washer. I bored it out so it was about 1/2 inch. It fit right over the head of this rusty head of this bolt right here, and I welded it right on the bolt. And then I welded it on the heat shield. So then I started it up and it still made some rattling noise. Not near as bad, but it was still rattling. So I did the same thing on the opposite side here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'll turn on the flashlight. Or can I? I don't think I can use the flashlight. Live video, you may not be able to use your flashlight. And then I welded a piece of heavy sheet metal. Like that's like, I think that's 16 gauge on top of the old exhaust. The old muffler. I took it right off. And I bent it and welded that on. I ground off the old muffler. The old sheet metal on the outside. So there's 4 baffles in there. I changed the end baffle, the one on the coming in here, this one here. I kind of cut a new one with I used the plasma cutter, and then I welded it all on there, and it's like unbelievably quiet now. It was so noisy. Yeah, and the frame turned out beautiful. Look at that, black. Yeah, it probably haven't been able to see that black paint in 15 years. Because the whole thing was green. And then they got this, I showed you that already, that rear diff on the transmission. Transmission is not near as dirty, but the rear diff is just caked. That must be leaking oil, that rear differential. Somewhere. Something's leaking oil. There's no way you would end up with all that 1/4 inch of stuff on there. And the one thing this has that the regular Truckster doesn't have, it has this reinforcement bar across underneath the axle here at the back, which I'm really happy I have that, because I was watching. There's only one other guy doing videos on repairing these machines. Most of the videos I could find on YouTube, there were people selling these. So like 1 minute, sometimes 30-second videos, and really you don't learn anything from that. But there's one guy I was watching. He's in the Midwest somewhere, and he did a bunch of repairs on his. He had to fix these 2 tubes. So there's 2 round tubes above that truss. They call it a truss. And his were bent when he got it because it was overloaded, obviously, bouncing through holes and stuff, potholes and who knows what. So I noticed also I noticed that drive shaft kind of angles downwards towards the transmission from the back to the front. So I think I need a piece of rubber where that hanger is. I was looking at that last night when I was fixing this exhaust problem, and I actually pushed up on it, and it's straight when I push this up. This whole exhaust, that pushes the whole motor up and the transmission. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to shim that up with something. I'll probably take the bolt out of there that's there, and there's the hanger right there, right above this metal thing. So there's a little 1 bolt that must hold a rubber pad of some kind, and it's probably all rotten or something, or it's just squashed. Whatever it is not holding it up as high as it should. So I'll do that, and then see what the big difference between this and the Truckster is. The hydraulic pump here, and I think there's a knob that says PTO, so you can turn on and off your hydraulic pump, and then you have a lever with a hydraulic valve, and then hoses, and then there's a tank back here where the battery is. Right here there'd be a tank for your oil, for your hydraulic oil, and then the battery's up here. Because all this plumbing is on here, you can't have the battery up here. So all this is coming off. I might move the battery ahead, or I might leave it there, and I might put one of those 12-volt power packs for the dump box. I want to have a dump box on here, hydraulic dump box. So be nice to have. There's an actuator on the Toro, and that's another thing that kills the battery. If you dump the box 2 or 3 times, and you don't drive enough, it doesn't have a chance to charge the battery up. So I was thinking of putting dual batteries on that, and I said to myself, nah, I'll just put the battery charger on it once in a while. That looks like the original starter. It's for 1,500 hours. There's a lot of original parts, and then, like I said, I welded that shield on it. It doesn't move at all anymore. It was enough to drive you bonkers. Like, you'd have to have some earplugs or something, because imagine driving this for 4 or 5 hours a day, listening to that rattle. The muffler was just completely, you could put your hand right through the muffler. So it was making a lot of noise. Yeah, it's really, really quiet now. And I don't even have the cover on the engine. And it's quieter than it was before. So pretty happy about how that worked out. And I didn't even call and cost out a muffler, because the last time I did that, for not a machine, not one of these machines, but another machine, they wanted like $600. I think it was the chipper. Yeah, the Vermeer, they wanted $600 for a muffler about the same size as that. So I did the same thing. I just patched it. I took some. It had a bunch of holes from metal fatigue. The heat shield vibrated to the point where it fell off. And wherever the heat shield was holding, it made a big hole about the size of a postage stamp or bigger. So I just took a bunch of metal and I welded it on there, and it's quiet again. But it probably could use a new muffler. So yeah, it was loud. It sounded like a Harley Davidson. So this thing here, I don't know. I didn't drive it a lot with the muffler the way it was, but I know it's much better. If I gave it back to the manager of the course. It's the manager of the course that drove this machine. So I don't think he cared about going deaf, I guess. I don't know why I wouldn't put up with that. You know, the golf course is paying for the muffler. It's not coming out of his paycheck. So why they didn't put a new muffler on, I would have done that if I was a mechanic. This belt here needs to be changed too. It's missing chunks everywhere. So it's just a sign that they just didn't bother fixing stuff. As long as it worked, that's fine. But yeah, what I want to do is put about 100 gallons or liters. Is that 100 gallons? I don't think so. I think that's got to be liters. Yeah, I have a 1,000-liter tank, and it's hard to say. Anyway, that green stuff comes off. See that green? Just go over it with some buffing compound. It comes right off. So if I am going to sell this, the better it looks, the better. I just want like $200 for it. You know, for what probably cost new tens of thousands, probably $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 for this sprayer. I'm gonna get $200 for it. It'll come with the pump, all the hose, the wire. I think I can pull the wire out. I found this big wire loom right here is your that goes to the back. Oops, sorry, right there. See that greenish color one? That's a kind of a semi-transparent. That's your water pressure. So I checked that a couple of days ago. I think I can pull that all out. It unplugs right here. And you just take those 4 screws out, and somehow it goes down under the floor, through here, and along the frame. You can see it right there. That's it right there in the middle of the screen. It makes its way all the way to the back. And it comes up to where these valves are. There's 4 valves right here. I think one valve sends it back into the tank right here. And then these 3 valves are your 3 zones. These 3 here. 1, 2, 3, and then you've got, that's your supply. That's coming in from the pump. And then there's your hose for your pressure right there. That's the hose we just looked at in the front. It's kind of a greenish color. If I can open that up with one hand, yeah. It's kind of semi, I think that green dye is in there too, so it's made it kind of cloudy looking. It's this stuff here, this green. It comes off that green pretty easily. And I think what they did, they had three sets of 3 nozzles. And they added a 4th one. So somebody welded they did a nice job. It looks kind of like a factory job. I think they added this piece. Somebody did that. Maybe the person that sells this equipment did that and they added another nozzle. See, it looks like it's factory. It doesn't look like some unskilled guy did that, some backyard mechanic or something. On both of them, they're both like that. So I'll lower this one down. And then you can loosen these little knobs here. Loosen that. And you can rotate these nozzles rotate. So I don't know, they do different things. I guess maybe different stuff you're using. Got 3 different nozzles. I'll lower this one down, we'll see. It's about 20 feet wide. I measured it with a measuring tape. Oh, this one sticks. This one stuck on me the other day. Okay. Yeah, that's not good. It didn't stick the first time I used it. Oh, I gotta turn this on. Okay, that's going off. We're lowering it. Yeah, I'll go look at it. If I can get it on the screen, I'm gonna have to walk like 100 feet away. I did this live video, I did it in the wrong orientation. It's vertical. I'm sorry about that. I meant to switch it to this type, but I didn't push the right buttons, I guess. So yeah, that's about, I measured it. It's exactly 16 feet, but I think it shoots out about 2 feet on each side, maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet. So it's around 19, 20 feet total width. And because they added those 2 nozzles, it's much wider. It's like an extra 4 feet wider. So these things here, I know these things here are about $200. More than that, I think they're $300 each. New. So they're going with it. Everything goes with it. This thing here alone, I think, is worth probably more than what I'm going to sell the whole thing for. But anyway, this is not a advertising for selling it. Oh, that's probably where you lift it to get it off. I didn't see that before. That makes sense. They've had this tank off a few times. The mechanic told me they pulled it off to do something on this. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask them again what they were doing. But yeah, well, we're gonna order the brake parts this week coming up, and I want to fill it. Like I said, I'm gonna put 100 liters of water in it, take a bunch of video, and show that it works. And then if I can sell it, I'm gonna have to get a bunch of pallets, because I'm gonna have to rest this fiberglass tank on pallets, because this comes out below the tank. Look at the mud on here. And then if it doesn't sell, I guess it's gonna have to scrap it. There's a place that'll take all the metal anyway. I'll take these off. I'll take this and probably sell it separately. If it doesn't sell, I'm gonna have to scrap it, which is a shame, because this thing works. It works fine. And the cost of one of these is just, you wouldn't believe what it costs for golf course equipment. It's crazy. But You know, if you're driving around a golf course, you got to have the right machine. You can't have something that goes super slow. So that's why it's got the 4-speed. It's got the high-low range, so if I guess if you're doing some really hard work, this is made to work hard, this machine. You can drop it down in low gear, and you've got, I tried it last night. I got it in low, even though that cable is completely toasted. It still works. I might try and put something on top of that, and then tie it up away from the exhaust pipe, and hope it still works. Maybe smear some grease on there, and then put some sort of tubing on top, and maybe, I don't know, put some caulking on top of that or something to shield it so it continue. I bet you that cable's $300 if you can still get it. So as long as it works, I can operate it from the driver's seat. If it stops working, I don't know. If I can't get that cable, I might have to rig up some sort of manual way to switch it from high range to low range. Not terribly important, but the one time you need it, it'd be nice to have. So I got to make a couple of seat cushions for it. The bottom one here is in really bad shape. And it doesn't, when you buy a sprayer, it doesn't come with a seat over there. On the passenger side, there is no passenger on a sprayer. You're not, I guess because you're spraying chemicals, which are carcinogens, it's probably a bad idea to have a passenger with you, subjecting 2 people to this stuff instead of 1. So they don't even put a seat over here. It's all, the holes are there. Everything's there to put the seat. Even the seat belt is on there for the driver, but the passenger, it's not even knocked out. So this little groove here, this groove you see here is for the buckle, like this. Anyway, I am planning on having a passenger when I need to have someone with me. I'll have someone with me. So I'm gonna make a couple of cushions, a backrest, and a new seat for both the. So that's all part of the plan. I guess I'll go to a material place, get some gray vinyl, and just some plywood and some foam, and staple it on there. Try and make it look half decent. That should be easy to do. I've done that before. So, and then we're probably gonna paint the bench seat cover because it's really rusty. I took it off to pressure wash it. It's right here. It's all rusted where the driver's seat was, and then it's all scratched up from having stuff on there. So, I mean, it's really scratched up. So we'll probably paint that, put some new metal on here. It's really easy to put this in and take it out because there's just 2 tabs. You drop in these grooves. It's nice to work on this machine. You got full access there. That's all you gotta do is drop it in there. Drop this one in there. That's it. And then the seat. Where did I put that seat? I put it far away because I didn't want the water from the pressure washer to get all over it. Yeah. We painted my son's bumper for his car last night. That's the color we painted it. Turned out pretty nice. I was out here till 6:30 or so doing that. Then I said to myself, I'm going to keep working on this. So I worked till about 7:38. There's a seat. That's why I needed to get do some upholstery and stuff. And then it runs. I shouldn't drive it too much, but I'm just having fun with it. There we go. It's quiet as it can be. It doesn't run very good with the pedal over here. This thing here makes it rev up to 3,000 RPMs. The pedal, it's a lot of hesitation, and then it seems to, I don't know, it cleans out or something. Yeah, we'll do some brake work on this. It's not really meant to be on the road. Vehicle Safety Act. Traffic Motor Vehicle Safety Act. Streets or highways are not appropriate for such use. So, I guess it's meant to fit on a golf course cart path. So it's super narrow. I mean, and if this thing turns on a dime, you wouldn't believe how sharp these wheels. I'm going to show you. Look at the wheels on this thing. I've never driven anything that turns as sharp as this. Look at that wheel. So, I mean, you can turn around on I think it says the circumference of your turn is around 70 inches. So, pretty impressed with that. Yeah. That knob took a beating on that pressure washing. Shouldn't have got so close to it. Anyway, that's the least of my concerns. Yeah, we're going to have fun with this. We'll get the brakes working on it. We'll get the dump box built. And then we'll use it. This has the capability of having a heated cab. I was looking through the manual. This thing's so deep because there's room to put a heater in there. Yeah, it would be kind of nice in the winter, but I don't plan on putting a heater, but I do plan on putting a windshield. I mean, you drive that Toro when it's, minus 15, minus 20 outside, and it feels like your head's going to explode. So it would be nice to have a windshield to stop some of the direct cold hitting in the face. You got to drive with your hand out like this. So this kind of breaks the wind away from your face a little bit. A big mitten, because if you had bare hands, you'd freeze your hands in about a minute and a half. So the only parts you can actually get for this now are used parts. I think a lot of stuff's discontinued, or if it's a old stock, new old stock, what they call it, new old stock. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know why a machine that's about 20 years old, they've discontinued all the parts for it. I don't get that. Why would you do that? That's where your market is, in parts. You make your money selling parts. Anyway, that's not how Textron look at it. I think they look at it like, if we stop making new parts for these old machines, the golf courses are going to go out and buy all new equipment. See, that green comes right off if you rub hard enough. So we'll get this thing prettied up. We'll put an ad on, I'm going to put it on Marketplace, I guess. And I'm selling the sprayer, not the machine, not the little truck. It's a miniature truck is what it is. And if we get some money, a little bit of money for it, we'll use that money towards building a dump box. I know I have a hydraulic power pack. One of those little 12 volt, looks like a little starter motor and a tank and a pump all in one. And then I know I have some hydraulic cylinders. I don't know if I have a one that I can use for this. But we'll have I know one more nice thing that I didn't even show you yet. I forgot until I got the machine home. I didn't even know these two holes right here, one on each side, right above the spring on the other side, are for the hinge pins for the dump box. So I'm pretty happy about that. So this thing comes with half the hinge pins already in place. So all I gotta do is make the top part, the dump box part. And I think the dump, I know for sure. I know the dump box on the Truckster has a subframe. So I kind of have to make a subframe and a dump box too. So, but I already have a good start, so I know where the hinges go. Just got to match them up on the dump box part. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's great to have we have 20 acres here, so there's always, every day of the year, there's always something to do. You know, branches, firewood, some topsoil we gotta move. There's always something. So this will get used a lot. Most of where I drive with this machine is trails. There's a trail right there. It splits off in two directions over there and there. And then there's other trails on the other side of the property that a full-size truck will not fit through. So if you didn't have a machine like this, or like the Toro over there, you'd be using a wheelbarrow or something to move things like firewood, and you'd be dragging brush by hand. So, and I don't really want to drive full-size vehicles through these trails. I don't want to make the trails any bigger than they are. So this is the solution for me, is to have a machine like this. Most people don't need anything like this because they don't have a lot of property, 20 acres. Usually you're walking 100 feet at the most, or a couple hundred feet. Not 1,000 feet. It's about 1,000 feet from where I'm sitting on this machine to the back corner of the property. So if you got to move something, I can get a full-size truck back there. There is a road back there, but between here and that area where the truck can go, I can't get a full-size truck in. So that's why I want the machine like this. That's why I want both. I want two of them, because that one's getting old, and I spent a month without that last year. That Toro. It's not a heavy-duty machine either. It's really not meant to overwork. It's an air-cooled engine. So a really hot summer day, if you're using it a lot to do heavy work, you're gonna burn the motor out. This was a liquid-cooled motor, so you can work the hell out of this thing. It'll always stay cool. So yeah, that's what we're doing on this fine fall day. We're getting beautiful weather. So, I'm gonna clean it up, take some pictures, put my ad up, and just hope for the best. I'd like it to go. I don't want it sticking around here. I don't want it dealing with it in the future. I don't think it's going to sell, but I'm hoping if somebody offered me $100 for it, I'd take it. I'd take $100 for it. I'm going to ask $200 and hope for the best. You know, it's perfect for summer next year. And this year's kind of over and done with, but it would be perfect for next summer. I don't know if you can spray fertilizer with this. You probably could. No, I don't think so. I think it's granular. Fertilizer's granular. So they have a fertilizer spreader there too. It's a trailer. So they were using a golf cart. It's like a golf cart with a dump box on the back, and they're towing that fertilizer spreader. I mean, they're probably working. That machine's working really hard. Do that. If you're gonna tow, this is the machine to use to tow. It's got that 4-speed transmission, high-low range. It's just meant for that. So I think I'm gonna end the video. Yeah, I got 10 people watching. It's awesome, amazing. I haven't been reading the comments. I got 3 comments, I think, from Audrey and Somi. They say hi. I'm Audrey, yes. Yeah, so, yeah, we'll end the video. That's what I'm up to today, but more to come. We'll put some, I find that YouTube, everything's changed so much on YouTube that spending, 3-4 hours editing a video and then putting it up there, and you get about 30 views. So, I used to get 5,000 views the first couple of years I was doing YouTube videos, and now I'm lucky if I get if I break 100, it's a miracle almost. So I do live videos. I'll do the odd short now and then, And that's what you get from me. So I think I'll fire up the pressure washer one more time. We'll clean this up. It's dirty mess. These are also breakaway. If you hit something here with this, it's supposed to spin back, which it does. There's a spring inside that thing. So yeah, both of them are like that. I'm not pulling it back. It's coming back on its own. It's cut on an angle. Like maybe it's just the weight of that angle. Maybe, you know what? There's probably a spring pulling down on that bolt. Yeah, that's probably what it is. So I'll put some grease in there. We'll get that working a little better. This could go on anything. It could go in the back of a pickup truck. You could probably build a little platform for it for a 3-point hitch on a farm tractor. I would imagine you could probably do that. You could make a trailer for it and have a tongue on the front of it and just use it on something you already have. But you would have to have, you'd have to buy a little motor, and you can belt drive that pump. The pump goes with it, and it's belt driven with a little V-belt. So it wouldn't be hard to rig this up. And then you'd have to have some sort of power source. It's got 12 volts supplying somewhere in that big loom that goes to the back. It connects to the battery somewhere. So it probably comes over. No, it wouldn't connect to the battery. It wires into the machine somewhere. So when you turn the key on, the accessories power this thing up. It's made by another company. This is made by Raven, I think. Yeah, I read it in the book. It shows Raven written on the top corner. Either the sticker's fallen off or they never had any name on it. But it's pretty nice looking. I think everything's at fingertips right here. So if you did put this on a trailer, you could run the wires all the way up to whatever machine you're towing the trailer with. You could probably extend those wires. I think it's pretty impressive. I have no use for a sprayer. I don't have any use at all. I've been living here for 20 years, and I think I've used a little handheld sprayer a couple of times for some poison ivy I tried to get rid of, which it worked. It got rid of it. So don't really need a sprayer. But you know, it's a pretty nice machine. So yeah, we're gonna pressure wash these booms now that they're down, and then maybe I'll go around with some black paint, touch up some of the rust. Got rust here and there. Pump a couple of squirts of grease in there, and then call it a day. That'll be it. Be ready for the next person to use it. So thanks for watching. I don't know if you guys are subscribed to the channel. I do have a channel that I fix all my own equipment. I do a lot of welding, a lot of repairs, a little bit of machine work when I have a chance. Whenever I have a chance, I'm on the lathe. It seems to be not as often as I would like, but yeah, but this is a cool machine. Very cool. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. I thought I'd just show you guys what I'm up to, and this is what I was using to. I gotta go buy another jug of it. Spray 9 grease off. Spray 9 is like the best product I've ever bought for cleaning. So, and this seems to work. I've only had like less than a liter. It says biodegradable, so I don't know. Yeah, go buy a jug of that tomorrow, and we'll just keep pressure washing it until it's starting to show. I think after I take the tank off, it'll be easy to do that rear end. I didn't bother doing the rims because they're still leaking gear oil, and this rim here has been destroyed. They welded washers on there. That's not me that did that. I took 3 half-inch bolts and I welded them on the back side of that hub so I could get this thing on the trailer and bring it home. Otherwise, I would have to drag it on the ground. So I drove it on the trailer, so it's a good thing. And it actually needs 2 hubs because the other hub on the other side is damaged as well. And I'm probably going to either order a rim, or there is a way to fix that rim. I've seen it done. I've never done it myself. You just take a torch and you cut out the whole center of that rim and you weld in a new one. That'll be a video for the machine shop, so I can use my rotary table. I got to drill 6 holes. So you got to drill a center hole for your location in the middle, and then you drill your 5 holes for your lug nuts. It should be fairly easy to do. You use a piece of flat, mild steel, flat plate, about I would imagine a 1/4 inch thick, but maybe I'll use some 5/16. I think I have a piece of 5/16, and then you position it in there and tack it, weld it, and do the best you can to make it straight and weld it in there. I can show you another machine I have that was done. I'll just take a little walk here. I'll look at that while we're walking. We bought this Kubota tractor years ago, and it had 8-bolt rims on the front. So the dealer, I bought the tires used as a trade-in. Somebody traded in a bunch of tires, and they had the next big tractor, the M68 is. This is an M5700. That needs to be flexed as well. So, yeah, they just took a torch, cut the center out of this rim, and a machine shop made that plate, and then they welded it in, repainted that center. I think they just repainted this piece. And then we stuck it on here because I think the M6800 has all the bigger units in this have 8-bolt front wheels. Same rim, same tire, just 8 bolts instead of 6. So yeah, it's funny that they told us they sold us new rims. Now I could see what they did. They're not new. I could tell they're not new. They were used. They say, "Oh, I can put them on new rims for you, and that'll be included." And but they look pretty good. But you know, this side here, not the spring. That's the factory original rim right there. So because I had a flat, I stuck this turf tire on, and then I said to myself, "Oh, I'll just fix that tire when I have time." Now, and I haven't had time, so that's on the list. So we'll end the video. Thanks for watching, and I don't know if you guys. Peter says hi. Well, we're just having fun on a Sunday afternoon. Bought this new machine. I thought I'd share what I'm doing with you guys. I'm gonna fire up the pressure washer, clean up that boom, spray boom, and then I'm gonna park this. We're gonna unbolt this from the machine. So that's what we're doing today. The foamer only works on the right side. This left side is missing. It's got all the fittings here and everything, but so either they hit something and they broke it, or they needed it for the other sprayer and they took it off this one. I don't know what happened, but so if you're going to use the foamer on this side, I tried it, it just drips out, doesn't foam. Yeah, we'll look at that foamer over there. That's kind of cool. Oh, I left the key on. Okay. It's got some sort of stainless steel device in there. It looks stainless steel. This nozzle. Yeah, you can't see it too good. When there's no foam in there, you can see it. Yeah, you can't see it. So up in here in this plastic piece, probably not up here, probably just in this end down here, Yeah, it's just this little bit right here. It's got a piece of, looks like stainless steel full of holes. It's got about 15, 20 holes in it. Yeah, you can see it there a little bit. If I had my flashlight, you'd see it for sure. Yeah, I don't think I can use my flashlight. That's what makes it foam. So, and you can stick this out a little further, I think. Looks like you can adjust it outwards. I guess there's no slack in that hose, so you can't. No, you can't. So there you go. There's a the other. I know I have a bag full of these nozzles that go with it too, because the other sprayer they have, the nozzles are different, totally different than this one. So they don't need those. They're gonna give them to me with this machine. So yeah, we'll end the video there. This one, see that one? That works too. You hit something, this thing swings right back. I don't know, it doesn't go too far back. It seems to stop right there. Nothing hitting there. Probably just needs grease, I would imagine. It's never been greased. So, pretty nice setup. Now I'm going to try and get all that green stuff off. Maybe I'll give it that a little touch up with some black paint. And then, yeah. So that's it. We're going to end the video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Maybe I'll do a video of building the dump box on this. Welding, fabricating video. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a good Sunday. Bye.